Attention, this is an urgent Code Ninja security advisory. We are currently tracking a high-severity vulnerability designated CVE-2025-61615. It's affecting Unisoc Modem firmware, and our objective right now is to give you immediate, actionable intelligence. So let's establish the operational timeline here. Unisoc reserved the CVE way back in September 2025. It went public in the Android Security Bulletin on March 1st of this year, and just a few days ago, it hit the public databases. Now, this public disclosure starts the clock. It's a race, and we need to get systems patched before threat actors can really weaponize this. And let's be absolutely clear about our purpose here. This advisory follows the Coordinated Vulnerability Disclosure Protocol. We are moving now to get ahead of the threat actors, to force a vendor patch, and to empower you, the community, to secure your systems. Okay, before we dive into the deep technical details, we need to do a quick but critical comms check. To get real-time intelligence on this threat and, any future ones, there are a few things you need to do right now. First, establish your comms link. You need to subscribe and make sure those notifications are enabled. It's frankly the only reliable way to receive urgent security updates when a situation like this is developing. Next, acknowledge receipt of this intel. Think of a like as your formal acknowledgement, your ACK. It lets us know that this critical briefing has reached you, and it helps push the advisory to others who need to see it. And finally, report your status. This is crucial. Comment below, are you patched or are you still vulnerable? This intel from the field is absolutely critical for us to gauge the potential blast radius of this thing out in the wild. All right, comms check complete. Let's move on to the analysis. We're now going to assess the blast radius, breaking down the impact and the exploitability of this vulnerability. Let's start with the numbers. The CVSS base score for this vulnerability is a 7.5. That puts it squarely in the high-severity category. Do not underestimate the risk here. So what's the root cause? Well, this is a textbook case of improper input validation, CVE-20. Basically, the modem firmware isn't properly checking the data it receives. This failure means an attacker can send a specially crafted packet and just crash the modem. It's that simple. Now, let's break down the CVSS vector, because this is where the real danger becomes crystal clear. The attack vector is network, which means it's remotely exploitable. Attack complexity is low. And look at this. Privileges required and user interaction are both none. That's a silent, remote threat that requires absolutely no action from the target. It's basically the perfect storm. So let's define the attack surface. We're looking at the Unisoc T8100, 9100, 8200, and 8300 chipsets. These things are running on a huge number of devices with Android versions 13 all the way through 16. You need to check your hardware right now. When we talk about impact, we look at the CIA triad. And for this one, there is zero impact to confidentiality or integrity. This is not about stealing your data. This is a high-severity hit aimed directly at availability. And what does that look like in the real world? Well, a successful exploit triggers a remote denial of service. The modem crashes, which means a total loss of cellular connectivity. No mobile data, no calls. And I need to stress this. That includes calls to emergency services. This is a critical failure state for any device. Okay, let's pivot to our defensive posture. We're now going to outline the mitigation protocol. These are the immediate actions you must take to protect your assets. And here's the kicker. At present, there is no official patch from the vendor. This creates a massive defense gap. So the crucial question right now is, how do you defend your perimeter while we're all in this window of exposure? You have to adopt a proactive defense posture. Let's walk through these steps. First, for network operators, anomaly detection is going to be key. You got to spot and block these malformed packets at the source. Second, for every single user, this means being cautious. That public Wi-Fi, it's a much higher risk environment until a patch is out. Third, for enterprises, leverage your MDM solutions. This is exactly what they're built for. And finally, all security teams need to review their incident response plans. You need to know precisely what to do when a mobile DoS scenario hits your fleet. Lastly, just a quick word on why we are making this public. This whole operation is guided by the Coordinated Vulnerability Disclosure Mandate. Our primary objective is, and I'll quote, to force timely mitigations and protect end users before threat actors can weaponize the flaw. We disclose to defend. It puts pressure on vendors to get a fix out, and it gives you the intelligence you need to protect yourselves in the meantime. That is all the intelligence we have at this time. Implement the mitigation protocol immediately. We will update you as the situation develops. Stay secure.